Welcome back for another video. I'm Ehbad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. In this video we'll be continuing our budget faction wars series, and today we're going to turn our attention to the Undead Hordes, stage 21. There are so many different ways to complete this faction, and ultimately it will depend on your roster. When I first cleared it I did not have a reviver, which meant I had to really finesse the gearing to get it done. In the waves we will face the Valkyries, we'll have to bring a way to deal with them. And from the epics, the best bet for this are Vogoth, Seeker, and Husk. Whilst Husk is negative affinity, which does make him somewhat unreliable, you only need to 3-star this once. Seeker is hugely underrated as a control champion. The A1 provoke is fairly reliable and really helps when your primary control champion will not CC at 100%. If you had none of these options, Banshee in a stun set and or Dark Aethel in a stun set could also work. From the legendaries, I'll make special mention for Vlad since he was a relatively recent fragment fusion. His AT would certainly be viable as a secondary crowd controller. Otherwise, Nethril, Elegaeus, Mashalad and Harvest Jack are all fantastic crowd control champions. The boss for Undead 21 ignores defense and opens with AoE crowd control via a stun/fear mechanic. Consequently, block debuffs is very useful. Furthermore, the boss gains turn meter when taking damage. However, poison damage does not trigger this passive. As a result, it is a very efficient way to kill the boss. Now, I haven't actually run this with this composition through to see if it works first. So we're going to go in together. I have sorted out the gearing in a way that I think will probably work. But let's jump in, and see how the run pans out. I am somewhat light in control in this composition. I'm very much relying on Vogoth and Husk between the two of them to get the CC out. We did miss one here on Martyr, so we'll try and get an A1 provoke from Husk, which we succeeded with. Let's increase our attack. Get some more buffs going, and let's try and bring down someone via poison. We really do lack damage in this composition. I've gone for a full-on tanky sustain style setup, which may be a mistake. So we might have to make some adjustments. Let's try and get provoke out if we can. Go for more provokes. Keep getting those poisons up there. Try and get a provoke out again. I've got to look at this martyr over here. Try and get some crowd control out. Do a bit of a TM fill for us there. Heal. Try and get the A1 provoke again. So what we've kind of got going on here is I have HP tuned my team such that Vogoth actually has my lowest HP across my entire team. In addition, Mausoleum Mage is my slowest champion, so I can get the block debuffs out on the boss at the first turn, and I should be able to do that without any issues. As well as that, we have Gorgorab in a regen set with the highest HP, so we're able to have the full HP tuning, which should work out well against the boss. The main issue we got here is there's just no damage in this team. Like, it will be fine against the boss because we're intending to kill the boss with poison via Frozen Banshee. But until we get there, it's just going to be quite painful. Let's give a little heal there and another heal. So you can see we've got quite a lot of sustain mechanics. And the real test, I think, will be can we get through the Valk waves. on a combination of either Vogoth and Husk getting the crowd control we need, or failing that, we have the ability to remove their buffs very slowly. We've not had a very good luck here, but we will be avoiding buffing ourselves because that's just going to cause more problems. We'll see if we can get another provoke out. Bit of a pain here. We just had one provoke missing, or one form of crowd control missing, and then suddenly this is what it looks like. So I think at this point, let's try and remove buffs. Ideally, it would have been the counter attack that was removed, not the shield. So that's a bit annoying. We're in for the long haul. 15 minutes. This is not quick. So, first thing to realize is that he's going to open with this A2, which will remove all debuffs. So we don't want to open with poison sensitivity because it will be immediately cleansed. So it's a waste of time. So I'll just A1. I'll A1 with Husk. I'll A1 with Vogoth. I'll A1 with Gorgorab. And then I'm going to put our block debuffs out with more Slim Mage. We should get through. I was expecting the boss to target my Vogoth, who is in lead and with the lowest HP, but he seems to have gone for Husk, which is not ideal, but I still think we'll make it through. So we will hold off the revive, will just give us a TM fill. We will give us a heal. Try and get some poisons out. I was hoping Husk would at least survive long enough to get his nuke off. We'll try and stack some more poisons out. So now he's going for Vogoth and we're getting the heals that we were hoping for. Get some more poisons out. Will we cycle? Well, I'll have to give it a go here. And we have the block out on 3 champions. That's pretty good. Vogoth is now dead. We'll again hold off on the res. So now I should go for Mausoleum Mage or for Frozen Banshee, in fact. Give us a quick heal. Go for some more poison again. I think at this point we're going to have to go for the revive and go for block debuffs. But I can't kill him until we're back. Which is a bit annoying, because I think we're going to kill him. This game does some really weird things, like there's absolutely no reason that Gorgorab should have been the target there. Not Gorgorab. Yeah, no, it is Gorgorab. Try and give us a TM fill. And we got 1 star. What an absolute joke. I've actually changed things up and I'm going to give this a go. Will I cut in? No. What a pain. So we'll try and speed through this. This is not my first run. I've got to the boss twice. I've not had good RNG. So you'll see throughout this, Seeker will do excellent work keeping everyone crowd controlled. Whoever's missing, I'll get Seeker to go and attack. We'll try and make very quick work of these waves, as it's getting late. I'm tired. I'm getting annoyed. Right, we're doing well. Let's try and get a provoke up on Black Knight. Purge that, get the provoke, we failed, get the provoke, we failed. We'll have to waste that from Vogoth, the other provoke, which is a bit annoying. Get the A1s going. We are not having good luck on this provoke on the Black Knight. There we go, finally. Swap back to Martyr. We'll make sure we have all our abilities for the second wave. Almost. And just Martyr. Done. 2 minutes to get to the second wave. Now here, it would be better if we had a proper speed tune, but we don't. We definitely need to get full CC across the board. We are fortunate that Vogoth succeeded where everyone else had failed. Whoever's got the highest turn meter of the Valks, I'll be focusing on with Seeker. Husk, I'll be trying to get provokes on Warcaster. And then Vogoth, I'll be using the AoE provoke as and when required. If I can get any decreased speeds across the board, that will be helpful. We really need a form of crowd control on this Valkyrie there. Fortunately, Vogoth came to the rescue. If I can just focus fire these Valkyries, it will speed this run up no end. The quicker they're all dead, the better. Try and get another decreased speed out, try and get a provoke on that Valkyrie. Try and get a provoke on the same Valkyrie. That is a problem. Try and get decreased speed. Go for a stun. Go for a clutch provoke. Oh, look at Seeker coming to the rescue. This Valkyrie on the right should be dead any second now. Try and get the provoke on the Warcaster. Try and extend that decreased speed if possible. Go for the Warcaster. Give us a little heal. Go for the Warcaster on the provoke. Now this Valkyrie is the next issue. Try and get the provoke there from Seeker. We succeeded. Try and get decreased speed. Go for some stuns. Go for some provokes. See, at this point, I'd say we're now going to be beginning to consider getting back our abilities for the boss. As we're getting towards the end of this wave. I'm going to try and heal everyone up. going through to the boss on full health will definitely be a better situation for us. Just need to not lose focus. Right, we're through to the boss. I will TM fill because I want to make sure that we all go before the boss goes. And the boss will gain turn meter. I'm going to do this big hit from Husk. Just A1 from Vogoth because A2 can't actually do anything. And then we should be able to put the block debuffs out from Morsley and Mage. Seeker has my lowest HP because he's in a clan boss build. I'm really just going to put as much damage out as possible. I wish that this decreased attack could come out because that would be massive, but unfortunately it can't. So Seeker's going to die here. I'm going to hold off reviving. Another big nuke, this time from Husk. Vogoth crit, not ideal. We should be able to cycle back. Get the block debuffs out. Should attack him, he didn't. Let's revive everyone. Cleanse everyone. I think we'll probably have to cycle back down. I don't think we'll kill the boss outright, so I'll hold off using the A2. But we might get very close. Had we paid attention to what damage this did, that would have been good. I don't know whether to risk it. I don't think it did that amount of damage. So we'll have to let Seeker die. Oh. Right then, through to the boss again. So, TM fill. Go and attack the boss. We should all get a turn first, so I'll get as much damage out as possible. We can only A1 with Vogoth, his A2 does nothing. Get the old block debuffs out. We avoid the stuns and the fears. Seeker, who's got my lowest HP, will get attacked first. Try and get some decent damage out. A1, A1. Save the revive. Heal. TM fill. Got him down to half health. Got another good hit from Husk. TM fill. At least we have block debuffs out on 2 of our champions. Husk will die now. I think we're going to have to go for the revive. Try and get decreased speed. Try and TM fill again. Heal. We can take one more hit, hopefully without dying. And now we basically need to kill him in this turn. And if we have the A2 up, we've done it. 3 stars. Will you look at that? Epic only. Undead. Oh, it only took 3 attempts. But that's the thing, like when you're trying to beat a stage 3-star and you don't have the legendaries, you don't have all the champions, you're trying to do it with 250s, it's hard. You know, some of these are really hard, particularly when you've got that ignore defense boss and you don't have a decrease attack. Like, it is genuinely hard. Let's go through the builds. So as I mentioned, I did HP tuning and speed tuning. And the idea was that Vogoth was going to be my lowest HP. In the end, I used Seeker, who had my lowest HP in the team. Seeker is in my clan boss Bat Eater Unkillable gearing, so had very low HP. Ideally, really, if I had geared or adjusted him specifically for this room, I'd have probably given him closer to 50k, around 48 to 50k given the rest of my builds. This build is strong from a damage dealing perspective. In terms of the accuracy, I was running a Vogoth lead for 40 additional accuracy, so enough accuracy to be landing that provoke, as you saw, on a relatively consistent basis. Then my next least amount of HP was Vogoth at 47.6. The idea was that even when Vogoth was being hit by the boss, he would provide an additional heal to across the rest of the team. And I wanted him to be targeted next. He really does nothing against the boss. The fact that he can't land this decrease attack unless they are provoked is really a frustration, I would say. I think if the decrease attack was separate, he would be considerably more useful in boss encounters. He's obviously fantastic in regards to the passive, for the way he keeps your team alive in, you know, arena and certain wave content, and obviously Bommel where the bombs are considered not to be bosses. But I think in the rest of situations, if he was going to be a more interesting champion to be used in other PvE locations, I think if this provided a decreased attack, it'd be much better, and particularly much better for Faction War 21. Then the next least HP was Husk, who I put in a reflex set. Just tried to stack as much crit damage as possible to make sure his A2 hit as hard as possible. Went a little bit overboard with the accuracy. And then, like I said, HP tuning such that he was lower than my 2 main support champions. Gorgorab I had not actually as the highest HP in the end, but I wanted to, I basically built him as high HP as I possibly could. Again, with the accuracy lead, he would be able to land his buff strip on the A1 in case we needed it, in case the Valkyries got their counter attack and shield off. We would slowly be able to take away the buffs on at least one of them and focus our damage on that particular Valkyrie. And he's in a regen set to ensure that, you know, he stays healthy and is able to revive the team. And then Mausoleum Mage ended up slightly more HP than Gorgorab. I think ideally I'd have had Gorgorab higher than Mausoleum Mage, but it's just the way it worked out. Didn't quite have as much accuracy. A little bit more would have been ideal in terms of landing that decreased speed a bit more frequently. But the important thing was I wanted him to be the slowest in the team, such that he was able to put the block debuffs, which is only a single turn. He needed to be able to put that out on everyone on that first cycle against the boss. So there's a bit of HP and speed tuning across the team, and ultimately I don't think we would be able to get this done with this style of composition unless you take that kind of level of consideration into the gearing. In terms of the skills, he is booked, but no masteries. Gorgrab, no masteries, but is also fully booked out. Vogoth is also booked out. And in terms of masteries, has some, although these really aren't providing much in this encounter. The masteries are there more for arena and bommel purposes. I haven't actually finished them. I've got enough to pick the T6. I haven't picked it for some reason. We'll come back to that later. It almost certainly will be Selfless Defender. Seeker skills are done. And in terms of masteries, it's a classic clan boss unkillable mastery set. I regret ultimately picking Blade Disciple. It's got higher stat value for Seeker because of his base attack level versus deadly precision, but it did mean I couldn't get Grim Resolve, which is a bit annoying. But if you see this, I can actually reset for free now. I was going to say I had reset once because I used to use him in Arena, but then we got given that additional free reset when they changed. What did they change? They changed deterrence. They gave us all an additional free reset. I was going to say I wasn't worth spending 150 gems to fix that tiny error on the mastery tree. I'm far too stingy with my resources for that, but now that I know I have a free reset, I'm still not going to do it because maybe in the future I'll end up making him more of an arena seeker. So, you know, I am still able to one key on Ultra Nightmare. If I was struggling, I'd probably consider it more than I am now. Husk is also booked, and his masteries actually go down to Helm Smasher. This is from when I originally built him to be a damage dealer for my HP room. I think I will be rebuilding him soon to be a max enemy HP AoE nuker for Hydra. So he will end up in a reflex set of sorts. The big switch I'll do is I didn't want him to have too much HP because I was doing this HP tuning, so I put him in an accuracy chest to achieve that. I think once I give him, you know, some more defensive stats, probably an HP chest and some flat defense on the jewelry, you know, we'll get him into a position to be strong for Hydra. I think the gearing I've selected at the moment will enable me to adapt without having to completely strip him. So there we have it. You know, it is not the easiest run, not the cleanest run, but people did ask me if I could get Undead Hordes done for the budget Faction Wars series, and I'd been putting it off because I know it's a particularly challenging room if you're not using legendaries. Like, it is tough without legendaries. The team I've shown can do it. It's not going to reliably clear at 3-star. It did take me a few attempts to get that to happen. I could clear it every time, but in terms of lining up the revive and being able to kill the boss at the right time, that wasn't easy. And my recommendation would be, if you have some good legendaries, use them. I used Elegaeus, Nethril, Seeker, Frozen Banshee, and if I remember correctly, I actually used Zelatar to clear between having this shield and continuous heal. Was kind of my only form of additional sustain. So between that and I then HP tuned my Elegaeus, who had this passive where he can't be killed. So I managed to HP tune and speed tune. Well, not really speed tune, to be honest, because I didn't have a block debuffs champion at that point. But I HP tuned it such that Elegaeus got attacked by the boss, would have to be hit twice before this was procced, so it would end essentially it would be hit once, hit twice, would proc the passive, and then have to be hit a third time. So you got 3 turns of Elagast being alive. I didn't have a reviver, so between that, I think if I remember correctly, the Zelatar shield also gave me an extra turn, or it ensured that I had those, or the extra, or I had the 2 turns from the shield. It's been a long time, to be honest. It was over a year ago that I cleared it, and then using Nethral's decreased speed, decreased TM, and poison, and Frozen Banshee's poison sensitivity and poison, stacked enough poisons to just wipe the boss out before he was able to kill anyone. And even that took multiple attempts to get it all to line up. So it's not an easy room by any stretch of the imagination. Right then, thanks for watching. I hope this has been useful for you. Please like, comment, subscribe. Any feedback's always welcome. And good luck clearing the faction. Bye for now.